Ever walk into a crowded room and just, feel that wave of awkwardness, like everyone's staring even though they're probably not? Yeah, it's a pretty universal thing. So today we're diving deep into shyness using this new translation of Understanding Shyness by Ray Crozier, and it's, well, fascinating stuff.
It really is, especially the way he picks apart shyness versus introversion.
Yeah, because at first glance they seem kind of similar, right? Both can make us a bit hesitant socially.
Totally. But Crozier, he makes this distinction. See, shyness, it's like this anxiety specifically when other people are around. That unease, the self-consciousness, maybe even a bit of fear, that's shyness at its core. Introversion, though, that's more about how you recharge. Some folks, they're energized by being social, others find it draining. An introvert can have a blast at a party, but then need some alone time to decompress afterwards.
Makes sense. So it's not about disliking people, it's how our brains react to them.
Exactly. And he's got these great real-life examples. Like, he talks about the writer Edmund Goss struggled with shyness his whole life. Crozier links it back to Goss's upbringing, super strict, which he actually wrote about in his autobiography, Father and Son.
So our childhood really can stick with us, impacting how we handle social stuff even years later.
Powerful idea, right? And Crozier, he backs it up with science, talks about how in shy individuals, their autonomic nervous system, that part controlling your heartbeat and all that, it's kind of on high alert.
So that explains the whole racing heart, sweaty palms thing.
Precisely. It's like their internal alarm system's more sensitive, goes off too easy around others. It's wild how biology factors into all this.
Totally. It makes you wonder about things like, I don't know, serotonin. That's linked to happiness and all. Could a chemical imbalance actually be part of why someone's shy?
$1 million question right there. Shows you how complex emotions are. But it's not just biology. Crozier digs into the psychology too. He talks about the self-awareness theory and the cognitive interference model. Ever get that feeling like super self-conscious socially, as if everyone's judging your every move?
Oh, absolutely. Especially meeting new people. Suddenly I'm thinking about how I'm standing, what I'm saying, even breathing. It's weird.
Exactly. And that's where this cognitive interference thing comes in. You're so busy focusing on yourself, your mind gets swamped with thoughts, anxieties, doubts. It's like your inner critic's working overtime. Makes it tough to relax and be present in the moment.
And that just makes you more anxious, which makes you overthink more. It's a vicious cycle. Feeds itself, yeah, totally. But, you can be totally capable at something, yet still feel shy doing it. Like public speaking, classic example.
Oh, for sure. It's what Crozier calls performance versus competence.
Yeah.
You can know a topic inside out, but the actual performing part, sharing it with an audience, that can set off those shy feelings.
Right. It's the being watched, the potential for judgment at a whole other layer.
Exactly. And he makes this point that it's crucial to see the difference. Shyness, it's not about being antisocial. It's how we handle those situations, our own mix of thoughts and feelings and all that.
Like everyone's got their own social comfort zone. Some are just, I don't know, smaller than others.
Absolutely. And Crozier, he gets even more into this with the whole nature versus nurture thing. Even brings up twin studies, uses the word monozygotic, which, means identical twins.
Monozygotic, bit of a mouthful, haha. But yeah, the studies are cool, help untangle how much is our genes versus our environment, right?
Right. And what's wild is they suggest it's not just our DNA, but also the world we grow up in. He calls these shared and non-shared environmental factors.
Okay, now you got to break that down for me. What's that even mean?
Sure thing. So, shared environment, that's stuff you likely have in common with siblings, your family, your economic background, even just the neighborhood you grow up in, it all plays a role. But non-shared, that's the unique stuff, what happens just to you, even within the same family.
So, 2 siblings, same house, but maybe one's encouraged to be outgoing, the other's more into quiet stuff. Even within the same family, those different experiences could lead to one being shyer.
Exactly. Shows how even small things, stuff we don't even think about, can add up. It's not destiny based on your genes, it's the individual path you're on.
Makes you wonder then, if it's this mix of nature and nurture, what can you do about shyness?
That's where Crozier gets into coping mechanisms, and he's big on therapy, especially cognitive therapies, helping folks understand and manage it.
So not about curing shyness, but getting better at handling it.
You got it. He specifically talks about cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. The idea is our thoughts, feelings, behaviors, they're all tangled up. So you learn to spot and challenge those negative thoughts that make you shy, and that can actually change how you feel and act socially.
Like breaking free of that bad cycle we talked about. But how do you do that? That's got to be tough, right?
Takes work, for sure. But he gives practical tools. He talks about self-statements. Ever notice how often your inner voice goes negative, especially in social situations?
Oh, constantly. Don't say that, you'll sound dumb, or you always mess this up. Stuff like that.
Exactly. And he says, don't just let those thoughts run wild. Counter them deliberately with positive stuff. Reframe how you're thinking.
So not I'll mess up, but I got this. And even if I stumble, it's not the end of the world.
Exactly. Sounds simple, but doing this regularly, it can actually train your brain to be more confident, less anxious in those situations.
Like a pep talk before you go in, reminding yourself you're capable. I like that. It's actually doable advice.
And the best part is, it's not about hiding your shyness. It's changing how you relate to it from the inside out.
So we've covered a lot. It's biology, psychology, personal stuff, this whole mix. But shyness isn't the only emotion we deal with socially, right? What about embarrassment?
Embarrassment. That feeling you want to just disappear. Crozier doesn't shy away from it either. Actually, he presents it as this important social signal.
Wait, seriously, there's a purpose to those cringy moments we all have. Tell me more.
Well, think about it. When you're embarrassed, what happens physically? You might blush, fidget, stammer a bit. Crozier suggests these aren't just random reactions. They actually do something in our interactions.
Like our body's saying, oops, my bad, without words.
Exactly. Yeah. He even talks about research on blushing specifically. It can be like a nonverbal apology, help smooth things over when things get awkward.
Wow, so even when we feel like hiding, our body's trying to keep things cool socially. Never thought of it that way.
Shows you how even emotions that feel bad can have this surprisingly positive side.
It's like our bodies have this whole other language going on under the surface, keeping the social wheels turning.
Right. And it brings up something Crozier keeps coming back to, this idea of self-acceptance.
Yeah.
He even brings in Irving Goffman, that sociologist, studied how we present ourselves and all that.
Kaufman, yeah. The social dynamics guy. Wasn't his thing that we're all basically actors on a stage?
Exactly. We do this self-presentation, making the image we want others to see. And Crozier, he seems to suggest that instead of trying to erase our shyness, maybe we're better off embracing it as a part of who we are, how we navigate the world.
That's kind of profound when you think about it. Not being someone else, but accepting our true selves, shyness included.
Yeah, and I think that's a great place to leave it. Crozier, he asks this question. How might your life be different if you embraced your shyness as part of your unique identity? It's like he's challenging us to rethink it. Not a flaw to fix, but this thing that shapes our experiences, what we're good at, how we contribute, you know?
It's like there's this power in being who we are, the whole package, even the messy bits. So wrapping up our shyness deep dive with Crozier, big takeaway. It's not a weakness, it's part of you. And maybe, just maybe, it's time to embrace it.
Time to write your own story, walk onto that social stage with confidence, be your authentic self the whole way.